This is episode 101 of Family Life Mornings, a morning radio show hosted by Steve, Therese, and Randy on Family Life, a network of stations across New York and Pennsylvania. Our podcast, a weekly look at the moments you might have missed. Some kind of funny. Don't laugh. This is a real idea. I saw it on the internet. If you haven't already, subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode. And find out more about our show at familylife.org.
Family Life Mornings, the nicest way to start your day on Family Life.
You need to get something from the top shelf and you're vertically challenged like I am. Do it now. Do it first thing in the morning. And the reason is that during the day, as you're vertical, the cartilage, especially in your spine, compresses. And over the course of a day, you can lose 2 to 3 centimeters. Now, I know you might say 2 to 3 centimeters. Well, that's not very much, but it's a higher percentage for me than it is for taller people, okay? So I need all the centimeters I can get.
If it's too early for you to start thinking about real life, it's okay. You can hang out with us as long as you want.
This is Family Life Mornings.
Ed was a 27-year-old high school dropout back in 2005, and he was standing before Judge Morrow facing a 20-year sentence. But instead of locking him up, Judge Morrow gave Ed 3 years of probation and challenged him to make something of his life, like becoming a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I mean, the judge wanted him to shoot big.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen. Ed didn't become a CEO, but he did earn a full scholarship to college, and then he earned another scholarship, a full one, to law school. Ed passed the bar, and just last week, Ed raised his right hand to be sworn in as a member of the Michigan Bar.
Wow.
And take a guess who the judge was that swore him in. Judge Morrow said afterwards, "That was better than walking your daughter down the aisle."
See, a life changed just by a challenge.
You're waking up with the show that keeps it clean for you and your kids. Family Life Mornings.
Well, if you've got a lot of stuff you want to get rid of, you might be thinking a garage sale is the solution. And it might be, but let me give you this little tip. If your goal is to get rid of your stuff and make a little bit of money, aim for 30%. 30% of the retail value is what you should price your item at if it is in excellent condition. Okay, so if it's a $100 item and it's in great condition, you sell it for $30 at your yard sale. Now, if it's not in great condition, you need to sell it for less. And I know you're like, but it cost me this much and 30% of that. If you price your stuff too high, well, nobody's going to buy it. So then you're still going to have the stuff and you're still not going to have any money. So really, you got to think about what your goal is, all right?
They're here to wake you up, pick you up, and lift you up. Steve, Therese, and Randy on Family Life. A friend you can turn to.
Well, if you're going outside, you need some sunscreen. Now,
Yeah,
if
that
you're,
makes sense, and that's smart.
Yeah, if you're going to have a bathing suit on, though, you got to make sure you get, like, all the places, like your back. And that can be really hard to get to. And sometimes you don't want to ask somebody else to do it. So I love this idea. You get some plastic wrap, you lay it out, and you squirt some sunscreen right in the middle. Now, you want the plastic wrap. Don't laugh. This is a real idea. I saw it on the internet. And then you use... you use the plastic wrap kind of like the towel when you get out of the shower, right? You just smush it back and forth, wishy-washy along.
I have visions of you just laying down on the ground and being a worm, just wiggling.
Well, that's another way to do it. That's different than tips from Therese. That's random thoughts from Randy. So you should get your own segment, okay? And then you can have people wriggle around on the ground like worms.
Do the worm.
Maybe get somebody else to help you with the sunscreen, all right?
Good idea.
You're the red in my red velvet. You're the icing on my carrot cake.
How about dessert?
Well, I suppose there's time for dessert.
Hey, everybody. Who wants dessert?
The dessert creatures are especially sweet.
Oh, Audrey's making cake. It's cake. I'm just so excited. It's probably like a chocolate cake or a vanilla cake or maybe a carrot cake or maybe a red velvet cake. What kind of cake, Audrey?
Therese, you just will not believe your ears. This is a bologna cake. And this...
Ooh,
it truly is.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Well, where have you been, Randy?
That doesn't sound good. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the idea of the bologna cake is that it would be a good Father's Day dessert that you could eat first.
Exactly. So I didn't want to call it Audrey's appetizers first. So it really is called a bologna cake. What you do, you go to the store and you have them cut some bologna on the thick side, maybe a quarter of an inch, and you get cream cheese, and whether you want to whip it yourself or buy whipped cream cheese, and you add different seasonings to it. If I was a kid, I would just do the cream cheese. But now that I'm adult, I have added Worcestershire sauce, onions chopped really finely, and celery and mustard and Worcestershire sauce and shredded cheese. Now, you can put any kind of cheese that you want, but I wanted a little zing.
So you didn't make this up. This is a real thing.
This is a thing.
It is a real thing, but I made up what I wanted to put in it.
All right, It's a multiple layer cake. You can see the recipe, and then you have a better understanding of how it works. Very creative, Audrey. Desserts first is a bologna cake, and you can get the recipe online right now at familylife.org.
Well, hello there, sunshine. Welcome to Family Life Mornings with Steve, Therese, and Randy.
So what side of the bed did you wake up on today? I'm not talking about the left side or the right side. I'm talking about the right side or the wrong side.
Oh.
Most people say they wake up on the wrong side of the bed 6 days a week.
Ooh.
Now, I'm not a mathematician, but there's only 7 days in the week, so I think 6 might be a little too many,
It's Thrifty Thursday on Family Life.
It's super easy to make your own air freshener. Get a spray bottle, mix in equal parts of water and rubbing alcohol, then add some essential oils. It's fun to mix and match to get unique scents. You might try lavender and orange, lemongrass and eucalyptus, or lemon and peppermint. The alcohol kills the odor-causing scents, while that oil leaves behind a pretty great smell.
Helping you do more with what God has given you. Thrifty Thursday on Family Life.
It was her second day on the job, and Emily knew that it was important for her to be on time because she really wanted to make a good impression. So she decided, I am definitely not going to be late. Except she was. You see, there were 2 cows in her yard standing right beside her car. And not being used to farm animals, Emily said there was no way she was going outside while the cows were still there. So her neighbor came out and shooed the bovines away, and Emily finally got to work. And her excuse to her boss for being late? Slow moving traffic.
In case you haven't heard.
They're morning people because they love mornings and people.
It's Steve, Therese, and Randy on Family Life Mornings.
What does your dog's breath smell like? Well, dog's breath.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
How about cucumbers to the rescue? I just read this. I can't believe it. Give your dog a few slices of cucumbers. They have some compounds in them that help to kill the bacteria in your dog's mouth. And so, I'm thinking like if you're slicing the cucumber and you got the end part that you're not going to put in the salad, you can just give that to your dog. They'll not know the difference.
Well, they eat anything pretty much.
Yeah, so. I wouldn't say that. It's, normally when you need them to eat something super healthy, they won't. But the downside of this is the next time that you sit down for a nice, delicious salad, you're going to take a whiff and go, smells like dog's breath.
Thanks for making us a part of your day. We're a friend you can turn to. Family Life.
One of my friends is getting ready to embark on a big camping trip. They're gonna
how big?
He and his family are going to be traveling across the country, visiting all of the national parks and I said, wow, that sounds really exciting and interesting if you're into that kind of thing. But it just kind of got me to thinking, probably going to run into a bunch of different animals.
Well, we used to always go camping at Allegheny State Park, and we had a cabin that had a big wooded hill behind it. And one day the park ranger came and told my dad that we had to evacuate because there was a bear up on top of the hill, and they were going to try to tranquilize it. Well, we went into the town and went to a movie. When we came back, the park ranger was still there. They had tranquilized the bear, and it got so mad, it rolled down the hill. It hit the back of our cabin and got up and took a big swipe out of the back of the wooden cabin. And when we came back, the park ranger showed us that he said, this is why you had to go. There was this gigantic swipe out of the back of the cabin.
What movie did you see?
Yeah. I was going to ask. Do you remember?
Maybe Grizzly Adams?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
You know we're friends because we're already on a first-name basis. It's Family Life Mornings with Steve, Therese, and Randy from Family Life, a friend you can turn to.
Well, working from home has been nice for a lot of people, and now some employers are saying, hey, we'd kind of like you to come back. Mm-hmm. And the employees are like, well, what kind of deal can we strike here? Like maybe I work at home some days, I come into the office some days, and some of them are putting it off until September. But they asked nationwide, would you rather have a $30,000 raise, or would you rather work at home? Now, $30,000 is...
That's a hefty raise.
Right. Can you believe most people said I would rather work at home?
No way.
Isn't that crazy? I guess you just can't put a price on rolling out of bed and powering up your laptop, or cuddling your dog all day, or grabbing lunch from the fridge and not the cafeteria. I think it's the cafeteria that really put people over the edge,
If you stick around long enough, this will all start to make sense.
It's Family Life Mornings with Steve, Therese, and Randy.